Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Iti Namane. Namaste Sarasvati Deve Gauravani Pracharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desha Tarane Trinadapi Sunichena Taradi Vasahishnuna Amanina Manadena Kirtaniya Sadahari Hare Nama Hare Nama Hare Nama Vikivalam Kalo Nastyiva 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 Gatiranyata Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasa Adigor Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. So let's begin our class. There was a great Mayavadi sannyasi named Prakashananda Sarasvati who used to teach Vedanta philosophy to a great assembly of followers. Being an impersonalist, Prakashananda Sarasvati used to explain the absolute truth as being without hands, without legs, without mouth, or without eyes. In this way, Prakashananda used to cheat the people by denying the personal form of the Lord. Such a foolish person was Prakashananda Sarasvati, whose only business was to sever the limbs of the Lord by proving the Lord impersonal. Although the Lord has his form, Prakashananda Sarasvati attempted to cut off the hands and legs of the Lord. This is the business of demons. Once, a Brahmana who saw the wonderful behavior of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to see Prakashananda Sarasvati and described the Lord's characteristics. Oh, there is a sannyasi, and he has come from Jagannath Puri, but I cannot describe his wonderful influence and glories. Everything is wonderful about this sannyasi. He has a very well-built and luxuriant body, and his complexion is like purified gold. He has arms that extend down to his knees, and his eyes are just like the petals of a lotus flower. In his person are all the transcendental symptoms of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And when one sees all these features, one takes him to be Narayana himself. Oh, whoever sees this sannyasi immediately begins to chant the holy name of Krishna. We have heard about the symptoms of a first-class devotee in the Srimad Bhagavatam, and it appears that all those symptoms are manifest in the body of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. His tongue is always chanting the holy name of Krishna, and from his eyes tears incessantly flow like the flowing Ganges. Sometimes Chaitanya dances, laughs, sings, and cries. And sometimes Lord Chaitanya roars like a lion. His name, Krishna Chaitanya, is all auspicious for the world. Indeed, everything about him, his name, his form, his qualities, is unparalleled. And simply by seeing him, one understands that Krishna Chaitanya possesses all the characteristics of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And such characteristics are certainly uncommon. But who will believe it? Prakashananda Sarasvati laughed very much to hear this description. Joking and laughing at the Brahmana, Prakashananda began to speak as follows. Yes, I have heard about this Krishna Chaitanya. It seems that he is a sannyasi from Bengal, but he is very sentimental. I have also heard that this Krishna Chaitanya belongs to the Bharati Sampradaya, for he is a disciple of Keshava Bharati. However, this Krishna Chaitanya is only a pretender. I know that his name is Chaitanya and that he is accompanied by many sentimentalists. His followers dance with him, and he tours from country to country, village to village. Whoever sees this Chaitanya accepts him as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Since he has some mystic power by which he hypnotizes the people, everyone who sees him thus becomes illusioned. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya used to be a very learned scholar, but I have heard that he has also become a madman due to association with this Chaitanya. This Chaitanya is a sannyasi in name only. Actually, he is a first-class magician. In any case, his sentimentalism cannot be very much in demand here in Kashi. My dear Brahmana, do not go to see this Chaitanya. You should just continue hearing Vedanta philosophy. For if you associate with upstarts, you will be lost in this world and in the next. So when the Brahmana heard Prakashananda Saraswati speak like this about Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Brahmana became very much grief-stricken. Chanting the holy name of Krishna, the Brahmana immediately left. But the mind of the Brahmana was already purified by seeing the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The Brahman therefore went to Lord Chaitanya, describing what had taken place before the Mayavadi sannyasi, Prakashananda. Hearing this, Lord Chaitanya mildly smiled. Then the Brahmana spoke again to Lord Chaitanya. My Lord, as soon as I uttered your name before Prakashananda, he immediately confirmed the fact that he knew your name. But while finding fault with you, he uttered your name 3 times, saying, Chaitanya, Chaitanya, Chaitanya. Although he spoke your name 3 times, he did not utter the name Krishna. And because he uttered your name in contempt, I was very much aggrieved. So can you tell me why Prakashananda could not utter the names Krishna and Hari? He chanted the name Chaitanya 3 times. But as far as I am concerned, simply by seeing you, I am moved to chant the holy names of Krishna and Hari. Lord Chaitanya then replied, My dear Brahmana, you should know that the Mayavadi impersonalists are great offenders unto Lord Krishna. Therefore, they simply utter the words Brahman, Atma, Chaitanya. Because they are offenders to Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is identical with his holy name. The holy name of Krishna does not manifest in their mouths. For the Lord's holy name, his form, and his personality are all one and the same. There is no difference between them. Since all of them are absolute, they are all transcendentally blissful. There is no difference between Krishna's body and Krishna himself, or between Krishna's name and Krishna himself. But as far as the conditioned soul is concerned, one's name is different from one's body, different from one's original form, and so on. Nama Chintamani Krishnash Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha Purna Shuddha Nitya Mukto Abhinitvan Nama Namano. The holy name of Krishna is transcendentally blissful. It bestows all spiritual benedictions, for it is Krishna himself, the reservoir of all pleasure. Krishna's name is complete, and Krishna's name is the form of all transcendental mellows. Krishna's name is not a material name under any condition, and it is no less powerful than Krishna himself. Since Krishna's name is not contaminated by material qualities, there is no question of Krishna's name being involved with Maya. Krishna's name is always liberated and spiritual, and Krishna's name is never conditioned by the laws of material nature. This is because the name of Krishna and Krishna himself are identical. For you see, the holy name of Krishna, Krishna's body, and Krishna's pastimes cannot be understood by blunt material senses. They are manifest independently. Krishna's holy name, Krishna's transcendental qualities, and Krishna's transcendental pastimes are all equal to Lord Krishna himself. They are all spiritual and full of bliss. Atak Sri Krishna Namadi na bhaved grahyan indriyai sevan mukehi jivadau swayam eva sparati adha. Therefore, material senses cannot appreciate Krishna's holy name, form, qualities, and pastimes. When a conditioned soul is awakened to Krishna consciousness and renders service by using the tongue to chant the Lord's holy name, and using the tongue to taste the remnants of Krishna's food, then the tongue is purified. And so one gradually comes to understand who Krishna really is. The mellows of Lord Krishna's pastimes, which are full of bliss, attract the jnani from the pleasure of Brahman realization and conquer him. Apart from the pastimes of Lord Krishna, when tulsi leaves are offered at the lotus feet of Sri Krishna, even the very aroma of the leaves attracts the minds of self-realized persons. So because the Mayavadis are great offenders and atheistic philosophers, the holy name of Krishna does not come from their mouth. My dear Brahmana, I have come here to sell my emotional ecstatic sentiments in the city of Kashi. But I cannot find any customers. So if they are not sold, I must take them back home. I have brought a heavy load to sell in this city. To take it back again would be a very difficult job. Therefore, If I get a fraction of the price, I shall sell it here in this city of Kashi. So after saying all this, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted that Brahmana as his devotee. And the next morning, rising very early, Lord Chaitanya started for Mathura. So, Lord Chaitanya in today's lesson has taught us something very, very valuable. Number one, if one is an offender at the lotus feet of Krishna, then Krishna's name will not appear on someone's tongue. So, one should thus understand that if they have a problem with chanting, that means that they are infected with some kind of offense. There are 10 kinds of offenses in the matter of chanting the holy name of Krishna. And because of these offenses, one may not necessarily feel ecstasy when chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. And the reason is because someone is committing 1, 2, 3, up to 10 kinds of offenses. But at the same time, we learn from this Chaitanya Charitamrita, there is a way to become free from offenses. And what is that way? That way is to chant the Panchatattva Maha Mantra. That Panchatattva Maha Mantra is chanted before chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, either japa or kirtan. So we chant Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita Gadadhar, Srivas Adi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. This Panchatattva mantra will cleanse one of offenses and thereby enable one to chant the holy name and actually feel some ecstasy. The next point is that Lord Chaitanya has taught us how to understand this name of Krishna. This name of Krishna is Chintamani. It is spiritual touchstone. The holy name of Krishna is not a material vibration. When we chant Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, we should understand that these are not material sounds. These are transcendental sounds. The word Chintamani means transcendental or spiritual gem. So Krishna's name is completely transcendental. The next word in the verse Lord Chaitanya quoted, Chaitanya, the holy name of Krishna is conscious. That's why sometimes it is said, Nama Prabhu, the personality of the holy name. And a real bona fide chanter understands that I am the servant of Nama Prabhu. That is when you know that you are a bona fide chanter. When you see yourself not as the enjoyer of chanting, but as the servant of chanting. That's a whole different mentality. As I have pointed out many times, especially in the last few years, that there is 2 kinds of kirtan. One kind of kirtan, the devotee who's leading or the devotees they're trying to enjoy the holy name. That is okay, at least they're chanting. But real pure chanting is when the chanters and the audience have a mood of, no, we're not the enjoyers of the holy name. We're here to be the servant of the holy name. It's a whole different consciousness. So the real pure devotee always sees him or herself. I am the servant of the holy name. If I'm a servant of the holy name, my business is to distribute it, to preach it, to give it, and always, always, always understand I am the servant, not the master. I'm not the master of the holy name. I'm not the enjoyer of the holy name. The kirtan, the japa, is not for sense gratification. It's a service to Krishna. Just as somebody I know is now going on the altar and taking care of the deities. So the pujari does not see him or herself as the enjoyer of the deity. No, the pujari thinks, no, I am the humble servant of the deity. I'm not doing this deity worship to enjoy my senses. No, I'm here to render service, to glorify Krishna. So that is the actual mentality of the real chanter. I'm chanting, but what is my mentality? I am the servant of the holy name. I want to chant in such a way that everyone will become prachodayat, enthused, enlivened. When we in ISKCON chant different Gayatri mantras, this word prachodayat appears. Prachodayat, to be enthused, to be enlivened. Yes, I'm chanting, I'm preaching. Yeah, same way with preaching. I'm not the enjoyer of the preaching. I'm the servant. I'm here to repeat the words of Guru and Krishna. I'm the servant. My wife has written one song. I'm the servant, not the master. And when I understand, I'll get there faster. So that's why Lord Chaitanya instructs us. Trinadapi sunichena torori vasahishnuna amanina manadena kirtaniya sadahari. If I see myself meek and humble, I'm the servant. If I'm tolerant while chanting, that means I'm the servant. If I give respects to others, it is because I see Krishna in the heart of that person. And if I'm a servant of the holy name, it doesn't matter what people think of me or say about me. No. The only thing that matters is, what does my guru say? That's what I'm concerned about. I may have thousands and thousands of followers, but if my spiritual master is displeased, what is the value? Our main focus, Vande Guru Sri Charanara Vindam, Vande Guru Sri Charanara Vindam, Yasya Prasadat Bhagavat Prasada, Yasya Prasada Nagati Katopi. Without the grace of the spiritual master, one does not please Krishna. So actually, we are more concerned about pleasing the Guru than we are pleasing Krishna. We're not Radharani and the gopis that we know how to please Krishna intimately. What kind of nonsense is that? No. But I do know what is the instruction of my spiritual master. That much I know. And Prabhupada has laid it out very concisely in his books. We strictly follow the orders of spiritual master, then automatically I know I'm pleasing Krishna. I don't have to think about it. My only concern is, am I executing the order of my spiritual master? Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha. Rasa Vigraha means that the name of Krishna is the form of all tastes, spiritual mellows. Everything can be derived by seeing oneself the humble servant of the holy name. Next word, Purna. The holy name is complete. That's why we say, Harer Nama Eva Kevalam. Everything is there in the holy name, complete. Shuddha. It is completely pure. There is no material contamination in the holy name of Krishna. The chanter may chant with or without offense. That's a different story. But the name itself is always transcendental, always pure. The chanter has to be able to vibrate it so that the pure nature of the holy name comes out unrestricted. Just like, say, you have a valuable jewel, but it's covered with dirt. Say you have a diamond. A diamond by nature is very illustrious. But if it's covered by dirt and grime, the shining power of the diamond becomes diminished. So the holy name is Chintamani. It is a transcendental diamond. But in order for it to shine, I have to be the proper chanter, the proper vehicle. I have to be the servant. And then Nitya Mukta. The holy name is eternally liberated. It's always spiritual. It is always liberated. Abhinitvan Nama Namano. All of this is true because the name and the person are exactly the same. That is what we mean by absolute nature. My name is not me because I have a material body. My name is one thing, but I'm something different. But on the transcendental absolute plane, there is no difference between the name and the person. This is the secret of chanting. This has to be understood, that the name of God is God, not that it's a symbol. If I think it's a symbol, that's an offense. No. Even Om, many people take it as a symbol. No. It is Mahavakya. It is the original transcendental sound vibration. So, Om represents A-U-M, Radha, Krishna, and the living entities, the absolute truth. So it is, Om is non-different from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And of course, everybody's going to ask, so how come you chant Hare Krishna and not Om? Prabhupada explained. Om is contained within the 32 syllables Hare Krishna, Hare Rama. The Maha Mantra has 32 syllables. Om is included. Because I just said, A stands for Krishna, U stands for Radharani, M stands for the living entities. All together, that's the absolute truth. Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, the absolute truth. Not symbols, real. The name and the person are the same. Then the second shloka that was quoted by Lord Chaitanya. Atakshi Krishna namadi na bhaved grayam indriyai sevan mukhe hi jivadao swayameva sparatyada. Lord Chaitanya pointed out that Krishna's name, fame, form, pastimes, entourage, paraphernalia, everything about Krishna is not understood on the material platform or with material senses. Impossible. You cannot understand Krishna with material senses. Krishna is understood when the senses are purified. And how do the senses become purified? By engaging in regulative devotional service, which you're doing right now. Shravanam, hearing. By hearing, the sense of the ear is getting purified. When the senses are purified, then you can actually understand Krishna's name, fame, form, pastimes, entourage, paraphernalia. So I must purify my senses by engaging primarily in hearing and chanting. As Lord Chaitanya says, Cheto Darpana Marjanam, cleansing the mirror of the mind. And this service, because the blunt material senses have no access to Chintamani, spiritual potency. Sevan Mukhi hi jiva dao. The service begins with the tongue. Tongue has two things it wants to do. Yap, 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 vibrate, talk, 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 talk. Why do you think the cell phone companies are making billions of dollars? Because people love to talk, 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 or text, 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 text. And the other proclivity of the tongue, I want to eat, I want to taste. So, normally these two things, vibrating and eating, in the material realm, take you to hell. But when those two same things are used to serve Krishna, again, Sevon Mukhe, service to Krishna, then the tongue becomes purified. When we eat Krishna prasadam, the tongue is being purified, it's engaged in service. Yes, eating delicious Krishna prasadam is also devotional service. It's my favorite item of devotional service. You have heard me say many times, Shravanam Kirtanam Eatanam. Yes, the 10th process. But we're not eating dal, rice, chapatis. We're eating prasad. There's a difference. There's that story of Lord Chaitanya. He gave some Mahaprasadam to all of his disciples. And he said, now, you have eaten this nice preparation. And you've already eaten all of these things before. How come this tastes so unprecedentedly nice? So different devotees were giving their opinions. Lord Chaitanya said, no. The reason this Mahaprasad tastes so good is because it is mixed with Krishna's saliva. Meaning, if you offer with love and devotion, Krishna actually eats it. It mixes with his saliva. He puts it back on the plate. You take now the remnants. This is not ordinary rice, dal, samosa. No. It is now mixed with Krishna's saliva. It is now completely different. It's a transcendental spiritual enjoyment. Yes, there's enjoyment, but the enjoyment comes from serving. Instead of trying to enjoy directly, we enjoy indirectly by serving Krishna. And taking prasadam and talking about Krishna in this verse, service begins with the jiva, not jiva, living entity, jiva, the tongue. Then what? Swayam eva sparati adha. When the senses, beginning with the tongue, are used to serve Krishna, gradually Krishna reveals himself. Krishna will first reveal himself in your heart by means of the holy name. Little by little, Krishna will reveal. And when your senses are fully purified, when your senses are totally engaged 100% in Krishna's service, the day will come. Say you are giving a lecture, one day you will see Krishna in the audience. Prabhupada told the book distributors, if you go out every day, one day you will give a book to Krishna. So we must have full faith in these activities. Hearing, chanting, using the tongue for Krishna. To finish up today's program, I cannot sing because of my neighbors, so I will recite the Nisringa prayers for your protection. This is, you've heard me say hundreds of times, my spiritual insurance policy for all my students. If you want to sing, speak along, pray along, go right ahead. Namaste Narasimhaya Prahlada Dayane Hiranya Kashipu Vakshaha Shilatankanakalaye Ito Nrsimha Parato Nrsimha Yato Yamitato Nrsimha Bahi Nrsimha Hridaye Nrsimha Nrsimha Madim Sharanam Prapadye Tavakara Kamalavare Nakam Adbhuta Sringam Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanubringam Keshavadrita Narahadi Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Keshavadrita Narahadi Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Om Tat Sat.